Hey guys, welcome to Godly Garden and Homestead. I am Christina, and there's my little munchkin Destiny. And we are gardeners and herbalists in Virginia in Zone 7B. Now, disclaimer again, we are beginner herbalists. We are not professionals. We are just learning and growing as we go. Today, we are back in the kitchen, and yes, if you see that I have the same shirt on from the last video, it's because it's the same day. It is the same day. I wasn't going to make our elderberry syrup until a couple of days from now, but I'm like, hey, I'm already here. Let me go ahead and make this elderberry syrup so we can have it bottled up and ready to go. So that's what we are doing today. We are going to be making elderberry syrup. No, these are not pickles. This is our elderberries in our jar. So what we are going to need is our dried elderberries. And what I'm going to put in our elderberry syrup, I'm also going to put some hibiscus and some rose petals in our elderberry just to give it a nice little taste. And actually, I think I'm going to put a little bit of orange peel in it too, just to make our syrup, give it some more vitamin boost and also a little bit more flavor. So what we're going to need is a pot, our dried medicinal herbs that we're going to use, and some water, and also some honey. And we're going to want a glass container or something to put our syrup in. I'm going to use this, as well as I'm going to use this one, which I already have some in. Excuse the mess, because this is like a real house that we live in, so we have real junk and mess sometimes. So the recipe that I'm going to be using is going to be coming from Mary's Nest. Again, I've mentioned her channel on here before, and I learned a lot of medicinal recipes from her channel. So what we're going to be using is our dried elderberries. We're going to be using some hibiscus. We're going to use some orange peel. Hers calls for rose hips. I think I'm going to use a little bit of rose petals, and God bless you, and a little bit of echinacea. Now, we want to take this to, actually, we're not going to use the echinacea. We're not going to use, because we don't want to overstimulate our immune system. And we made, in our last video, we bottled, God bless you. In our last video, we bottled up some echinacea glycerite, so we can add the echinacea as needed when we take our syrup, our immune boosting syrup. And I actually have a video of me making this in like tea form. So what it calls for is 2 cups of elderberries, but we do not have 2 cups of elderberries. We have 3/4 cups of elderberries. So we're going to use what we got. We got our elderberries in here. We're going to put some hibiscus in here. We are doing the folk method, so we are just eyeballing what looks about right. That's looking pretty good. Let's get our rose petals in here. And some orange peels. That smells good. That smells so good. And the recipe calls for 8 cups of water. 1, 2, 4, That's 5. We're just going to do 6 cups because we didn't have all those elderberries. All right. So we have all of that. And we want to simmer it. So we're going to simmer it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to let it sit. Because these are berries, because these are petals, we don't want to boil this and boil out the medicinal properties of this. So we want to simmer it. And we're going to put a lid on it also. There we go. So we're going to let this simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. We'll come back and strain it afterwards. Now, since our elderberry syrup has simmered for 10 to 15 minutes, and it might have simmered a little bit longer than that because I went outside to fertilize my plants and to cover them with some agricultural fabric, I forgot that the pot was on the stove and it kind of started boiling a little bit. So if we may have possibly boiled some of the medicinal properties out, but that's okay. It's okay. Trial and error. So this is what it looks like now. We're going to let this cool down for the next 10 minutes because we want to make sure it is warm, not hot, before we add our honey in there. So we are going to let this sit, then we're going to strain it, and then we're going to add our honey to it, and then we will bottle it up and label it.
From the wife, and she want me to try it. Don't know what this little stem is, but let's pluck it off anyway.
It's a green bean from out the garden. Ooh. It's called a contender.
Only if it was sauteed. So let's try it like this. So far, so good.
This is fresh and delicious. Did you throw it away?
Yeah. I didn't like it.
You better be joking. You better not have wasted my food. I grew this with my hand. This is so fresh and so good. Ew, stop making that face. You know this is going on our YouTube channel, right? Good. I'm putting this in the video. All right, so now that we have our elderberry syrup all warmed up and cooled down, we are going to strain it. So we have our strainer here. We're just going to put it over top of our bowl, and we are going to strain all of our elderberry syrup in here. Oh my goodness. So goofy. Destiny too short.
And this is chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side.
Okay, so we're just gonna hold on. Get a bowl. Get another bowl for me. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's little.
Now, do not throw this away. Save this. It can be used more than once. Dang it. That's okay. We'll strain again. Let's bring you in a little closer. I'll rinse the pan out, and we're just going to strain it one more time just to make sure. All right, and see, we got a little bit more out. Now I'm going to rinse this bowl out. Next, our syrup has cooled down. We're going to add some honey to it. And just we're going to stir it in. All right, and I'm just going to taste a little bit of it. I feel like it's a little bit bitter because of the oranges. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more honey into it. And also the hibiscus. Okay, that tastes better. So much better. And this is just going to be for me and my family. So the fact that I sipped off the spoon and then put the spoon back in there, that's a little irrelevant because it's just for me and my family. So I'm actually going to use this type of funnel to put this in here and funnel. Whoa. All right, there is our first bottle, and we're just gonna put our lid on it just like that. Let's make our next bottle. Let me just rinse this out. Dang it. Should have stopped while I was ahead. And these are the cutest little bottles. I found this at my local Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to label this one as well. And then we still have quite a bit left over. We'll use this bottle. I got this also from the dollar store. A brown, an amber colored bottle would be our best bet, but we're going to drink through this pretty fast. We don't have to be so reserved with it since we didn't put any echinacea in it. We could drink this as tea if we wanted to. And there we have it. Our three, I just need to change this label out because this label was from when I made this last month. It has last month's information on it, but it still has the elderberry syrup sign on it. So all I need to do is write what I put in here. And the only thing different that I added from last month's batch was that I added some orange pills in it. So we have our three elderberry syrups right there. And we will put them in the refrigerator. We'll probably save this one and put this one in the since it does have honey in it, but it doesn't have a lot of honey. It will be shelf stable just for a little bit. So we'll put it in the pantry for a little while, and then the other ones we'll put in the refrigerator. But I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Share this recipe with someone. It's so easy to make. You will be surprised how expensive those elderberry gummies are in the store. I used to buy them for my daughter, and she used to take them every single day for immune support. But now I can just buy dried elderberries and some other things. And I'm working on trying to grow my own elderberries. But we can just buy it and make our own syrup and use it as needed. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. So with the rest of this, you can make a tea out of this if you'd like, or you can do something that I learned from Mary's Nest, and I'll show you what that is. Get yourself some silicone ice cube trays and stuff the remaining herbs down in here, just like that, into your ice cube tray. And then fill the rest with water. Put it in the freezer, and then you will have frozen cubes, and you can put this in those tea diffuser balls, or if you have a tea kettle like I have that has the infuser in it, you can drop them in there to make tea, or you can just put them in a glass. You can just put it in a glass mason jar and make another batch of this with the water. There is still more nutrients inside of these herbs, and we don't want to just throw them out. So do that. But if you don't want to use it no more, compost it. Do not throw it away. Put it in your compost. But you can at least get another use out of these. You can put them, I was going to say put them in tea bags. You can put them in tea bags if you're going to use them immediately. They're already wet, so you don't want to put them in tea bags and then try to store them. They're already wet. So what I'm going to do is, since I put my 3 in here, and you can see that I used 3 already. So I'm just going to add some water to this.
All 3 of them.
Yep, I'm going to add some water to all 3 of these. And then I'm going to pop this into the freezer. Yeah. Then I have another tray, and I'm just going to fill this tray up and pop them into the freezer, add some water to it, and pop it into the freezer. So again, I hope that this was helpful. If it was, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. We would love to continue to build our community of people so that we can grow together, so that we can learn from each other. It is just such a blessing to learn all of these things and to be able to share them with people that aren't aware of them, or the ones that are aware, just to have continued conversation. So again, we thank you, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.